أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على ما لا نبي بعده سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا ومولانا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحابه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to the House of Dua. Today I have a very important question for you. When will a Muslim or Muslimah become the President of the United States of America? I'm sure you will immediately dismiss this question as unnecessary, but you need to wait a minute. That's exactly the question I got from my 7-year-old granddaughter after the election of President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the recent elections conducted in the United States of America. I was equally as shocked as you when I heard that question from my granddaughter. She asked me, "Dad, when will a Muslim or a Muslimah become the President of the United States of America?" Simultaneously, I was almost telling her that that was impossible, for the simple fact that Muslim population in America at the moment is a disadvantaged minority. 2, Muslims do not necessarily like to do elections. And 3, Muslims in America don't believe that other groups in the society would vote for them to hold the office of the President of the United States of America. But I thought that by doing so, I will not be doing justice to the subject, knowing fully well that my daughter is asking me because she knows that I'm a sheikh, and I should be able to explain to her from the perspective of Allah's commandments. So I reached out for the Quran, and I found in Surah Al-Imran verse 26, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala declares, "Ba'da a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul Allahumma malikal mulk tu'til mulka man tasha." Say, O Muhammad, O my Lord, the owner of kingdom and power, tu'til mulka man tasha. You grant power to whoever you want to grant. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, immediately I turned back to my daughter and told my daughter, you know what? If it pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one day, sooner than later, a Muslim or Muslimah will become the President of the United States of America. She asked me again, was Allah going to come from heaven to select or elect the person here as the President of the United States of America? I said, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could do whatever he wants to do according to the way he deems fit. He has power to do anything he wants to do in the manner he deems fit. So we cannot rule out the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it possible for a Muslim or Muslimah to become the President of the United States of America. Although my granddaughter accepted the explanation, I realized from her body language that she wasn't satisfied. It didn't take a while for me to realize that the question my granddaughter was asking was probably not, isolated to her alone. She was probably speaking the minds of the thousands of our Muslim young girls and boys who live in America and see what is happening. And they are beginning to think, when will it be our turn as Muslims to produce the president or vice president of the United States of America, whether a man or woman? My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, America is a country in which true dreams can be turned into reality. Therefore, questions like this that we receive from our younger kids must receive the necessary attention. And when I realized that what my daughter was asking may be the same aspiration that other children will have, I decided to do this video for her benefit and for the benefit of other children who might be thinking the same way. As I said, The United States of America is a country in which true dreams can be turned into reality. Nothing is beyond any individual, irrespective of his color, race, or religion in the United States of America. Therefore, I believe that Muslims, like every other group in the society, can produce the President of the United States of America if they continue to hold on to the commandments of the Quran and the Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and in addition to that, take extra steps to do what is necessary to make themselves a formidable group in the United States of America. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, when I considered the question raised by my granddaughter, I also looked at the Hadith and tried to find out the reasons for the revelation of verse 26 of Surah Al-Imran. I found out that, according to the narration by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma and Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu, one day the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, after the Fatih Makkah, gathered the Sahaba and told them that one day the religion of Islam will spread across the empires of Persia and Rome, which were the biggest empires of the time. But the hypocrites of the time and the Jews of the time began to mock at the Prophet, telling him that that was a far-fetched dream. How could the few Muslims of Mecca and Medina be able to take over the empires of Persia and Rome and spread the deen across the land? But it didn't take a while before that prophecy came into reality, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, reminding us that what Allah has decreed cannot be turned back. It was in response to that statement made by the Jews and the hypocrites of the time who thought it was impracticable. It was in response to that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed verse 26 of Surah Al-Imran. قُلِ اللَّهُمَّ مَالِكَ الْمُلُكِ تُؤْتِي الْمُلُكَ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتَنزِعُ الْمُلُكَ مِمَّنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُعِزُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ وَتُذِلُّ مَنْ تَشَاءُ بِيَدِكَ الْخَيْرُ إِنَّكَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, tell your believers to always say that Allah is the owner of the kingdom. He grants to whoever He wants to grant. He is the owner of power. He grants to whoever He wants to grant. He is the owner of position. He grants to whoever He wants to grant. He is the owner of favors. He grants to whoever He wants to grant. He could as well take it away from the one He has already given. He will take it away from that person if that person does not make use of it in the good manner. And if He grants you power and position of favor and you make good use of it, He could even enlarge it for you and empower you the more. Or if you abuse it, not only will He take it away from you, He will humiliate you with the power. That's the power of Allah, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. To you belong every goodness, Ya Allah, and you have power over everything. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the prophets to tell us to continue to say. And in this verse, we realize, therefore, that yes, what Allah makes possible, no man can make impossible. That is the power we rely on as Muslims. But when it comes to the United States of America, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we must not dismiss the aspiration of our younger ones. Truly speaking, if we as Muslims continue to hold on to the book of Allah and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and we take the necessary steps, sooner than later, a Muslim or Muslimah will become the president or vice president of the United States of America. Let's work for it. We believe in this because when you look at the history of America as well, those things that were considered impossible in the past are today the norms of the society. Before 1920, when the voting right was, signed in favor of the women's right to vote, it was an anathema or a taboo for anybody to think that women could vote in America. I'm talking of just voting. It was not until 1920 that the women's voting right was established. And it was not until 1964 or 65 that the black population of America gained the right to vote. Before then, they were considered unwanted when it comes to the choice of who led America at the time. So, with all this at the back of our mind, even though we might be a disadvantaged minority today as Muslims, we must not lose hope in the fact that in future, it might be our turn to produce the president or vice president of the United States of America. And right now, we are beginning to see Muslim women in the Congress, Muslim men and women as, secretaries of department. And so in due course, it will come to our turn. But that's not going to come on a platter of gold, you know that. Because the women and the black population of America did not find it on a platter of gold. They worked for it. They struggled for it. Some of them went to jail for it. Some of them lost their lives for it. Because they believed it was an act of goodness, the right way to go. That's the way we should also think about. While they were praying in their churches, just as we pray in our mosques, they were at the same time taking the necessary steps to make sure that they gained the rights that they were entitled to in this country. And in addition to that, from the very beginning, we found that the black population that came into this country as slaves, sooner than later, began to raise families and have children. And today, they are the second largest voting group in the United States of America. We cannot overlook the effort the Latino Americans are also making in the United States of America. Yeah, some of them might jump the fences to get to America, or jump through the river to get to America, or come through other legal ways to come to America. But they come in here raising families. And today they are also a very recognizable group in the voting process in America. We should not forget that for a very long time, while the predominant white population in America were cutting down on their family sizes and reducing their population through the process known as family planning, the black population and the Latino population were growing their family in strength and in number. The result of it is that today, we find that the Latino group or the black groups alone or in coalition can produce the leader of this country. The American political process has become so charged because suddenly it has become clear that without the blacks, without the Latino population, the predominant white group alone will not be able to produce the president of the United States of America. Therefore, even though each group will want to gain the upper hand, it has become inevitable that we need some coalition. We need to, walk across the lines in order to build a formidable group to produce the presidents of the United States of America. If we, the Muslims, hang on to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Quran and the hadith of the Prophet, will we even be in a better position than the non-Muslims who are blacks or Latino or the predominant white population of America? Definitely we will. You know why? Islam allows large family sizes. And one of the reasons for that is for us to be able to multiply in number and outnumber whoever is existing side by side with us on the planet. The Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, according to the hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, told the Sahabas, go out and marry and raise children so that we'll be a large number in this world and we'll also be a greater number in Jannah. That is the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. So, it's important for us to try as much as possible to implement this. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the problem with us as Muslims is that we have fallen into the trap set for us by those who have been complaining about population growth and advocating the fact that unless you have a little or a very small family size, you are not likely to live good life in the world that we live. Those are outdated theories that have been proved wrong. China has a population of over 1 billion, and India the same thing, and still they are able to feed their population. And America, as it stands today, has enough food and other resources to take care of a population of over 1 billion. So you can't tell me, therefore, that inability to take care of your children will be the reason why you will reduce the size of your family. As I said, many of us as American Muslims have fallen into the trap of limiting our family sizes, copying the example of those who say, you know what, 1 man, 1 wife, and a pet is enough as a family size. But when it comes to election, men vote, women vote, but pets don't vote. This is the reality. And this fact has been known to the Black and Latino population for a very long time. And they have been upgrading or increasing their number in the society. Today, you cannot win any election in the United States of America unless you have the support of these two groups. Look at the recent voting that was conducted. 95% of Black American women voted for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because they felt that a fellow Black American lady was going to hold one of the highest offices in the land. So for us as Muslims, therefore, instead of limiting the size of our families, we must make effort to go by the commandment of Allah and the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Go out there and marry, and go out there and raise children. There are no legal restrictions with the number of children you can have. It's possible for one wife to produce between 8 and 10 children. That is possible. You can imagine, for example, out of the current Muslim American population of about 5 to 6 million, if every family were to produce 10 children, between now and 2050, Muslims will be a force to be reckoned with as far as election in the United States of America is concerned. Without doubt, they will be able to produce the president or vice president of the United States of America. They will be able to flood the Congress and the Senate with Muslim legislators. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, in Surah Al-Fatih, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. It is Allah who has sent the messenger with the true deen known as Al-Islam to go and proclaim the religion so that religion will stand out clear among others in the society. How will the religion stand out clear? Number 1, to increase the number of those who practice the religion. That is the truth. And of course, also, through our example, our character, our ability to reach out to others through dawah process. These are the activities we are shying away from. Those who have come from Muslim background, where population is a thing of joy, increase of family size is a thing of joy, they come to America and say, you know what, I just need 2 children. And they go out spending money on pets. How will Islam grow in America if the population is declining? That's a food for thought for all of us. So in response to the question I received from my granddaughter, I'm just trying to share my personal opinion. And if you agree with me, alhamdulillah. If you disagree with me, at least I've started a debate. How can we have a Muslim man or woman to become a vice president or a president of the United States of America in future? Let the debate continue. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to the straight path. Take shaitan away from our lives and take our life far away from the shaitan. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت الغفور الكريم. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless our children and our grandchildren. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make them stand out as first among equals in this country. We look forward to them in future. We have no doubt in our mind that even when we are gone, many years after we are gone, many of them will achieve greater heights than we have done. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it so for them, to take obstacles away from their way and make them successful in all aspects of life. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك الحمد لله.